Introduction. In the records of Indian history, some names resound with the roar of valor, determination, and an unyielding spirit. One such name is Maharana Sangha, better known as Maharana Sanga. This towering figure of the 16th century ruled Mewar, a kingdom nestled in the rugged Aravalli hills of Rajasthan, a land long synonymous with honor, sacrifice, and defiance. His life, a saga of relentless battles and unwavering resolve, stands as a testament to Rajput principles, a moral code that placed courage and duty above comfort and life itself. This book, Maharana Sanga, Unbroken Pride and the Eternal Glory of Mewar, seeks to unveil the extraordinary story of a warrior king whose legacy burns bright even 5 centuries after his death, illuminating the pages of history with the gleam of his sword, the strength of his rule, and the depth of his political vision. Maharana Sanga was not just a king, he was a symbol of fierce resistance against invaders, a beacon of unity for Rajputana, and a mighty warrior whose name alone stirred awe in the hearts of friends and foes alike. Born into the Sisodia dynasty, which traced its origins to the sun, Rana Sanga inherited a kingdom forged in the fires of adversity. Under his reign, Mewar was more than a geographical entity, it was a stage for trials, a vision of an unbroken Rajputana, and a fortress of Rajput pride that stood fearless against the tides of conquest sweeping the Indian subcontinent. In an era when the land was fractured by rivalries and threatened by foreign invaders, Rana Sanga rose as a colossus over Mewar's soil. He wielded his sword not only to defend his realm but to carve a dream of a united Rajputana, determined to forge an alliance strong enough to face the mightiest empires. This book is not merely a chronicle of wars and dates, it is an exploration of a man who embodied the spirit of his age and transcended it. It peers into the dawn of his warrior life, tracing his journey from a young prince hardened by loss to a ruler whose military triumphs and lion-like roar echoed across the plains of northern India. It delves into his daring campaigns against the sultans of Malwa, Gujarat, and Delhi, victories that cemented his reputation as the sword of Mewar. Yet, Sanga's story is not one of triumph alone. He was a unifier, a leader who sought to bridge the divides between warring Rajput clans, forging alliances that briefly promised a golden age of unity. His vision was bold, his ambitions vast, yet they clashed. With the relentless mass narrative lies the Battle of Khanwa in 1527, a devastating clash that pitted Sanga's Rajput coalition against the Mughal invader Babur. This was no ordinary battle, it was a collision of 2 distinct worlds, 2 ideals, and 2 titans of their time. Khanwa became the crucible in which Sanga's fate was sealed, a moment of glory stained with tragedy, marking the beginning of the end of the dream of Rajput dominance. Yet, even in defeat, Rana Sanga's spirit remained unbroken, his legacy enduring as a flame that neither time nor conquest could extinguish. This book attempts to peel back the layers of that pivotal encounter, seeking to understand the man behind the crown, a husband, a father, a leader, whose personal sacrifices mirrored the weight of his throne. The pages ahead will take you on a journey through Sanga's life, from the rugged hills of Chittor to the blood-stained fields of Khanwa. The dawn of a warrior introduces young Sangram Singh, shaped by the harsh realities of a besieged kingdom and the burden of a destiny he could not escape. The Sword of Mewar, military triumphs, recounts his dazzling victories, where his tactical brilliance and raw courage turned the tide against impossible odds. The Unifier of Rajputana explores his diplomatic genius, his efforts to rally a divided people under one banner, and the fragile hope of a united front flickering in the shadow of looming ruin. The man behind the crown offers a glimpse into his personal life, his joys, his sorrows. and the humanity that underpinned his larger-than-life persona. The narrative peaks with the fall of a titan, Khanwa and Babur, a chapter analyzing the decisive battle that altered the course of Indian history. Here, we confront the paradox of Sanga's life, a warrior invincible in spirit, yet undone by the uncertainties of fate and the betrayal of allies. But the story does not end in the dust of defeat. The eternal flame, legacy and beyond traces the ripples of his influence, from Mewar's enduring pride to the generations of warriors and poets who saw in him the embodiment of an unbreakable sword, a sharp spirit that, though scarred by battle, never bowed. Finally, conclusion. The Lion's Roar Through Time reflects on why Sanga's name still echoes in the corridors of history, a roar that refuses for those who seek not just the events of the past but the soul of the man who shaped them. It is for the history enthusiast thrilled by the clash of swords, the strategist marveling at the chessboard of war, the dreamer inspired by a king who dared to envision a united Rajputana, and the skeptic questioning the cost of such ambition. Above all, it is for anyone who believes that true greatness is measured not only in victory but in the courage that stands firm even as the world crumbles around it. Maharana Sanga's life weaves a tapestry of triumph and tragedy, glory and grit. His reign was a challenge to the ordinary, a saga that deserves to be told not as a footnote to the rise of the Mughal Empire but as a chapter in its own right. Sanga is a chapter of history where the sword of Mewar shone brightest against the darkest storms. As we embark on this journey into his world, we invite you to walk the ramparts of Chittor, hear the war cries of his armies, and feel the weight of a crown that bore a people's hopes. This is the story of Maharana Sanga, the unbroken sword, whose eternal glory shines as a beacon of valor across the vast expanse of time. In the chapters ahead, we will traverse the highs and lows of his remarkable life, piecing together a king who was both a product of his era and a force that shaped it. His tale is one of blood and honor, unity and betrayal, a flame that burned fiercely against the winds of change. Welcome to the saga of Rana Sanga, a tribute to a warrior whose roar echoes through the ages, a lion whose spirit remains unconquered.